From AccuWeather.com, this is AccuWeather Daily, a brief host-read article. It's weather news in a nutshell. Marathon runners already face a daunting challenge when they line up at the start of a 26.2-mile race, but as CNN's George Ramsey writes, they might increasingly find themselves with another obstacle to reckon with: global warming. A new study claims that rising temperatures around the world will make it harder for elite athletes to break the marathon world record, or for recreational runners to hit their target times. Of the 221 races analyzed in the report from Climate Central, released last week, 86% of them are less likely to have optimal racing conditions for runners by 2045. That includes last Sunday's New York City Marathon and the other 6 major marathons around the world: London, Berlin, Tokyo, Chicago, Boston, and Sydney. Now, for runners, the consequences of running in hot conditions can be extreme. As Scottish distance runner Vari McLennan told CNN Sports, athletes are passing out from dehydration and heat exhaustion during races and taking months to recover. It has really significant impacts on the thickness of your blood, on how quickly your body is able to recover, on your hydration levels for days, and also your ability to train after that kind of experience, which can then delay other achievements and goals that you're pursuing. According to the study, the optimal temperature for elite male marathon runners is 39 degrees Fahrenheit and 48 degrees for elite women. This year, the study found that the Tokyo Marathon had a 69% chance of optimal race day temperatures for elite men, but those odds are expected to fall to 57% in 20 years. The Boston Marathon's odds are expected to drop from 61% to 53% for the same category over the same time span, while London's could reduce from 22% to 17%. For elite women, the likelihood of optimal conditions is also anticipated to fall at 5 of the 7 marathon majors by 2045, with the odds reduced by 10% and 11% or more at the Sydney and Berlin marathons, respectively. Now, according to data from climate monitoring agency Copernicus, 2024 was the hottest year on record, 2.9 degrees Fahrenheit warmer than the period before humans began burning large amounts of fossil fuels. It broke the previous record set in 2023. Exercising at higher temperatures places greater stress on the body, especially in high humidity, and an athlete's hydration strategy becomes even more crucial. During the Berlin Marathon in September, temperatures reached an unseasonably warm 75.2 degrees, while the Tokyo and London marathons saw temperatures rise above 68 degrees. Ahead of this year's race in Berlin, organizers advised that warmer temperatures would make it harder to achieve personal bests and told runners to shift your focus away from chasing records and instead soak up the unique atmosphere along the course. They also gave advice on hydration, cooling strategies, clothing, and recovery. At the end of the day, sport is a business, and it generates revenue from spectators, and if spectators are there to see fast performances, and that's not happening because of climate change, well, that's an issue for the sector. After heavy rain and flooding in New York City, the conditions were good for Sunday's race, with more than 55,000 runners taking part. But should major marathons continue to take place in warm weather, then it might create a scheduling headache for organizers. Andrew Pershing, who leads the Climate Central science team and worked on this new study, told CNN Sports, "We have marathons in the spring and in the autumn in the Northern Hemisphere because those are the times when we get the good, cool temperatures that you need for good running performance. As the climate warms, if you have a race that happens at the same week every year, that good climate is moving past you and it's moving away. Those good conditions are becoming less and less frequent." One solution for organizers might be to schedule earlier start time for races. Now, an extreme example of that was the 2019 World Athletics Championships in Doha, where the men's and women's marathons began at midnight local time to compensate for hot weather during the day. But even then, temperatures for the women's race reached 88 degrees with humidity at 77%. Scottish distance runner Vari McLennan explained athletes rarely have the luxury to choose when and where they compete, especially around events like the World Championships and marathon majors. She said the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles might be another instance where athletes probably have to do a lot of acclimatization, adding, the same is true for any competition where the environment is different to what you train in. There is consideration to be made into how you adapt and how you train your body to compete in those conditions. The marathon world record has been broken several times on both the men's and women's side in recent years, though many attribute the faster times to advancements in shoe technology. The women's current world record marathon time is 2 hours 9 minutes 56 seconds, set in Chicago last year, while the men's mark of 2 hours 35 seconds was also set in Chicago in 2023. But with global temperatures rising, athletes and climate experts alike anticipate that those kinds of performances might become more scarce in the future. McLennan said, overall, that reduces the quality of the product. I do think that heat waves are already rewriting race history. That's all for now. You can find more regional forecasts and science-based articles at AccuWeather.com. And for your local forecast at your fingertips, download the AccuWeather app. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Be safe. I'll be back on Monday with more from AccuWeather.